Listening to Our Daily Show with CJ Nasello on RiverBender.com.
All right now, baby, it's all right now. All right now, baby, it's all right now.
Alrighty, 9:17, that's the time on a Monday morning. It's the 25th day of September. It's Our Daily Show. Perfectly imperfect. Pretty much sums me up. I think that's pretty fair. With that being said, Tara, Teresa, and Terri, we got the T's in studio today. How's everybody doing?
Good. Great, thank you.
So take me through this right off the bat. I mean, there's a lot to talk about, and we're going to have a couple of breaks to make sure that we do it. And hold on real quick. This is driving me crazy. We had to change out microphones, and now the cord's just being a little wonky today. But this is a really cool opportunity for so many women and anyone in this community to go and get some really cool, insights on life and a lot of journeys that you guys are having. But right off the bat, take me through this book. This is a collaboration of 40 different individuals, correct?
Yeah, there's actually 42 authors, 41 chapters. There was a collaboration on one of the chapters. So the reader is going to be experiencing so many different stories from so many different walks of life, so it's exciting.
Well, and I think that's what makes it fun, because if you open up the door and walk down the neighborhood, nobody's the same. We all have different, paths to get into our car, let alone how we do things in our own personal lives. So to get those different perspectives is a huge incentive, I think.
Oh, yeah, I agree. I think that was probably the most exciting thing about meeting the different authors and putting it all together was to hear their story. So.
Well, and then right off the bat, too, I mean, like you just said, meeting all of the authors and putting them all together, it's got to be a little bit of a journey to make sure that this book was all coming together right with so many different individuals a part of it. Take me through how long of a process this was.
Well, this is where it's kind of funny. It really wasn't. On a plane ride home from Arizona, I had been at a speaking engagement with Nina, who is the co-sponsor of the project with me. And we had about 3.5 hours to kill. And she had previously written a book. And so I said to her, I was like, all right, girl, I want to know how. I've always wanted to do it. I've always told my clients when I work with them to allow their story to be a survival guide for other people. And that's really how it was born. We landed on a Sunday, had a Zoom with the publisher on Thursday. We signed contracts and took off running.
There you go. And now, I mean, this is the exciting part, because now we're getting to the point where we're almost off to the finish line. I mean, the starting gun's getting ready to sound. And how are we all feeling about this?
Oh, I have a lot of mixed emotions.
Really?
So I have I'm excited for one, but also very anxious, because it's what I wrote about is something that a lot of people in my personal life have absolutely no idea that I went through.
Really?
Yep.
Now, Terri, that's got to be a little bit of a challenge to make sure, I mean, just to have the strength and the confidence to go, you know what, I'm going to tell this, and we're going to see if people react to it, or at least have some guidance in what I went through. How long of a decision was that going, do I really, because I don't want to give it away, we want you to read the book, but do we, what's that conversation look like internally?
It was a lot.
I bet.
So as I was writing, I'm like, oh, I don't know about this. Even after I submitted, and even when I got my final draft, I was like, oh, I don't know about this. I don't know about this. And I'm like, you know what? If it helps one person, it's worth it.
Yep. Amen to that.
Yep.
Absolutely. I mean, there's so many cool components to this, because like you said, you're going, I don't know if I'm wanting to write about this, all the way down to other facets of the book. And that's what I think is so great for all of us. I mean, this is a really good learning tool and a great guide for ourselves. And then, Teresa, take me through your component of this book, too, if you could, and give us a little background.
Sure, and what I want to kind of touch on there is that sharing your story is so beneficial for you as you're healing, and so beneficial for other people in their healing.
Yeah.
So yeah, if you can just touch one person's life, it's well worth it. And we know it's going to touch a lot of lives, because this is going to be a huge book for people. So I would say I am a podcast host, and I help people share their stories all the time. And I don't always share mine. And so it was when I've considered writing a book already a couple times. And so when I was asked to write, a chapter in this book, I'm like, yes, this will push me to do what I've already had a plan to do. So it was not the easiest thing. And I'm glad that I've done it. I feel like total relief now. Like all of our final edits have been gone through, and now we're just waiting. You know,
is that kind of a consensus with all of the collaborators on this project? Is it was almost beneficial, like you said, internally for? Was that a common?
I heard it from everyone. Carol, who was our writing coach, I mean, she's a trauma informed. She was kind of like our therapist throughout the whole journey, because sometimes these stories are difficult to share, and you're not sure how to put it into words, and because for some of these women, this was the first time that they ever maybe even told someone about this. And so I think it was a tremendous healing journey for everyone, and just let the shoulders down to just say, you know what, I don't have to hold on to the secret anymore.
Right. And now take me through the structure of the book, because that's what I'm curious about the most, because there's a lot of insights, a lot of components. So I'm sure just organizing and making sure it's in that streamlined, manner. How long did that kind of take, and what's that process look like as you're trying to branch out and make sure that everything's going where it should?
Well, I can tell you that we have an amazing team behind us. Kathy Davis.
hire someone.
Yes, you hire
Don't
someone.
do it yourself.
If you want to start in March and launch in October, you hire someone.
There you go.
And I'm telling you, Davis Creative has been, amazing. They have walked everyone, and I'm talking 42 of us, hand in hand throughout the entire process, doing, just every single thing except for probably writing the chapters.
Yeah.
So it's been incredible. They literally have helped us understand, how to put it together, how to edit it, proofread it, create Facebook pages so that we as a community of authors could get together and support each other, have kept honest with the dates and how to promote it and what to do. And they've been incredible.
That's just fantastic. And what I think is really unique about this is that, like you said, to be able to grab 40 people, not just 40 authors, you guys are working your own jobs and careers on top of all of this. So to find a way to balance it is really impressive to see this turnaround. Now, there's a lot of opportunities coming down the pipeline with this empowerment seminar and so many really cool things. But right off the bat, when can we expect to get our hands on a copy?
So the launch is Thursday, October 5th.
Okay.
For 24 to 48 hours, the readers will be able to purchase the digital download for $1.99.
Wow.
Hugely important, because that will be the very first time that people can get their hands and eyes on
What a
that.
great price, though.
It is.
That's an awesome price, especially for 40, collaborators on a project. That's cool.
Yeah. It's exciting. It's really exciting. So all of us are just really sharing that date with everyone so that they can just get on there, because so many people are asking. Well, and the funny thing is, they're both looking at me because they know that I'm the only one with the I have the complete version. They're probably out there reading it on their phone. So it's been a lot of fun. I'm not even all the way through the book yet since it was sent to me. So yeah, it's exciting, and so many people have asked. And so yeah, Thursday, October 5th, they can absolutely get on Amazon and download it.
Well, this is a fascinating concept, because now you have the book ahead of time. You're getting able to kind of sneak peek behind the curtain. Terri and Teresa are on pins and needles going, all right,
now she knows
listen,
our story.
How many, right?
Now what does she think about
And
us?
by the way, it's not getting published. No. But, whenever you're going through that, and I'm a perfectionist, and I think this is kind of like a cool tie-in, because if I'm looking at it ahead of time and it's coming out in a few weeks, I'm starting to go, wait a minute, all right, can we please move this section, and maybe we move it down once or twice? Has that crossed your mind at all in reading through this?
Okay, it did.
I knew it.
It did. And then honestly, at that point, I just said, you know what? This entire project has fallen in place in a way that was meant to be. And so I am not the one that's going to make those choices and changes. And so honestly, we didn't move one chapter. The way that it came to us, we left it, and that was it, because I think the entire process has just been so many doors have opened, and just opportunities and possibilities, and everything has just then, the authors that got the chapters in. We had more no's than yeses. I want you to know
Really?
that.
How many did
my
you reach out to? That's fascinating.
Oh, hundreds. And so Nina and I kind of divided and conquered. We knew that our goal was 40 authors. And I know I personally asked, everywhere I went, you two heard,
Sure.
every single place I went, I asked people or whatever, hey, would you want to consider sharing your story or
Right.
whatever. So yeah, our goal is that down the road, maybe next year, we'll do a second edition of it, and maybe some of the no's will see this and be like, oh, because they did, you don't know what you don't know.
Right.
And once they see it and see the impact and kind of like, oh, those ladies did that, I can do that too, so.
Well, and how many local individuals are a part of this? Because I know there's so many involved. I'm sure that there's a little bit of an overflow.
Yeah, I think there's 10 of us here locally.
Really cool.
There's
Awesome.
yeah, what's great
It's
is
across the world.
it is.
Right.
We have an author in
Right.
Australia, we have an author in Canada, and an author in Japan. And then we have a really big St. Louis collaboration. And then we have a group of 6 or 8 in California.
Really cool. And that's what I was getting at, because I figured you had them all over the world because of the way you guys are networking and reaching out. But I think it's so cool whenever somebody, right here in this area or even in the Metro East throughout it can go, wow, Terri went through this, or Teresa had this, or Tara's had this going on. I think that has such a better connection, because sometimes we don't realize there are folks that do kind of not look up to us, but do follow along in our progress and do see how we're doing. And to be that kind of guiding light's a really cool thing, I think.
Absolutely.
There we go. How about that? I heard a second over there. All right.
All in favor.
So one last time before we take a break and talk to more authors, I want to get more insights on your guys' sections. And Teresa, if you could, how long of a section does each person have? Is it a page, 2 pages, 3?
It's a couple of pages.
Okay.
What was our maximum words?
1,500, give or take 10%. So
Okay.
it's about 5 pages each.
That's really cool.
Yeah. And, you want to share your story. And for me, it was like, okay, how can I get a glimpse, really,
Yeah.
of my story? Because you can't share every detail of your life, especially someone for me that my story is lengthy.
Right. I'm right there with you. That's why when you said 1,500, I'm like, that doesn't even make it past, the first paragraph. I would think it's just one continuous.
Right. So I'll share with you the title of mine is Purpose After 60 or something like that. So obviously I'm 60 plus, or finding purpose at 60,
Yeah.
I think is what it was. And so it could be a very, very long chapter to share my story. So to just pick out what I wanted to share to kind of give a good overview was not easy.
Oh, I bet. I could only imagine. And just talking, too, with Terri earlier, those conversations mentally and internally are probably some of the hardest that you're going to have, because once you print it, it ain't going away.
Yeah.
It's out there. And then, Terri, how long of a section did you have in the book?
Same. And I went through a similar situation.
Really?
Like my first draft was too long. So that I had to kind of, like Teresa said, pick and choose to still get that whole story.
And then I'm sure that all of you seem very active in your communities, respectively, in business and all that we do. And, Terri, I know that you're in Little Black Book and you're a part of a lot of local organizations. And Teresa, I'm sure you are too. And Tara, has writing this chapter or this section helped you in those type of groups and those components of engaging with other people in the community, whether it's business and other avenues too?
Well, I will say that's how I was handed the opportunity.
Well, and that's
Little Black Book.
That's what I was going to say is I met both of these ladies in Little Black Book. And that organization has been instrumental in me completing this book, because it was one of those things where I'm not afraid to talk to anybody or ask anybody. What it did, though, is it provided me the opportunity to, on a larger scale and in bigger rooms, to come across meeting women who some of them did it for personal reasons, some of them did it for business reasons. Regardless of whatever reason they did it, it afforded them a platform, so that later on they can share their own story, in their own book if that's what they choose.
And that's really cool. And is there anything else, Teresa and Terri, that I haven't mentioned yet that you want to talk about before we take a quick break?
I will, if you're okay with this, just share a little bit
Yeah, go for
about
it.
what I do, because you talked about what we do out in the community. And yes, I'm part of Little Black Book, but I'm also, and this is targeted a little bit at finding my purpose after 60, is I really work, I'm a grief coach, and so sharing stories is huge. It's all part of what I do. And so I love that we're doing this because I do this every day with people. So this has been huge, but sharing your story, especially in grief, is huge for healing, which I mentioned earlier, and I'm a podcast host for Resilient Moms, Hope Healing, and Living After Loss. So
that's really cool.
What I do.
Well, and I'm glad to hear it and good to meet you, because I know Terri from my time with Lisa and the Little Black Book Conversations, and Tara always see you in town and doing some really cool stuff. Tara's going to hang out in studio with us. It's 9:32. I got to pay a bill, but why don't we do this? We'll take a quick break. We'll come back with more contributors to this really cool book, Perfectly Imperfect. Now, you guys have caps lock on the screen, but it's actually, uppercase P, then perfectly undercase, then imperfect, bold letters. I like it. I think it's a great title. We'll talk more about it and ways you can go to that seminar after this quick one in downtown Alton.
Here at Modified Auto Sound, we are an automotive customizing shop that specializes in car audio, window tinting, and other truck and Jeep accessories. So as an interested customer, we always recommend that you just stop in the shop. Check us out at 241 Eastgate Plaza, right off of Route 3 in East Alton, Illinois. At Modified Auto Sound, there's no such thing as strangers, just friends we haven't met.
Macias Insurance Agency, providing quality products with extremely competitive prices. As an independent provider, we source multiple companies to offer the best rates possible. Covering auto, home, business, and life insurance, our goal is to provide quality service that meets and exceeds customer expectations. You can rest easy knowing the Macias team is working round the clock to ensure that both you and the most important parts of your life are covered. Our qualified professionals make the insurance process easy so you can live carefree and focus on what matters most. Visit MaciasInsuranceAgency.com today to find out what our team can do for you. For the biggest selection of pre-owned cars, trucks, and SUVs in the Riverbend, visit AltonToyota.com or stop by their location on the Homer Adams Parkway in Alton. Winner of the prestigious President's Award, Mungan Burkhardt Alton Toyota knows how to treat their customers, and they will help you find the vehicle that is perfect for you. For years, Mungan Toyota has been a fixture in the Riverbend, and now Mungan Burkhardt carries the tradition. New name, but the same great service you've come to expect.
I set the thermostat so my house would be warm when I got home from work, but the kitchen is still cool.
At Barrett Heating and Cooling, we stand behind every Linux system we sell.
My dealer said he'd take care of everything.
At Barrett Heating and Cooling, we understand everyone wants prompt, professional service.
Turns out it wasn't my furnace after all, just a little something blocking the vent.
Pretty smart dog if you ask me. For service you can count on, call Barrett Heating and Cooling.
Lennox, innovation never felt so good.
Has free checking become a thing of the past? Not if Liberty has anything to say about it. With 3 free personal checking options and even a free business checking account, Free is alive and well at Liberty Bank, the local bank that gives you free checking choices and more cashing in your pocket. Bank locally, bank Liberty. For more information, visit www.bankliberty.com.
You're listening to Our Daily Show with CJ Nasello on RiverBender.com.
Welcome back. 9:36 is the time on this 25th day of September. It's a Monday in the heart of the 618. Tammy, Nicole, Tara back in studios. We're talking Perfectly Imperfect, the book coming out in just what? 10 days. Isn't that crazy to say?
It is crazy to say. It's even crazier to think. This whole process, when you start it, it seems like it's just a million miles away. And then as we get closer, it literally in a blink of an eye, it's going to be here.
Well, let's picture this like Golden Girls. It's almost looking up at an iceberg, but in less than 30 days, really. I mean, in a month or two, you're looking down going, man, time to buckle in and strap in because it's going. I mean, you're here.
No, the funny thing is last week I had a conversation with the publisher, and I was like, okay, where are we at? It was the day that we had gotten the PDFs emailed to us, and we were able to start going over those. She's like, well, I'm going to tell you, you're at the top of the roller coaster. I want you to strap in. She's like, because it's about to get fun. So
that's what I mean, this is just so incredible. It's just the turnaround, putting everybody together, all, over 40 different really cool individuals that have their own stories and passions. And Nicole, Tammy, real quick, give us a little bit of an overview of what your section, a part of the book, is all about.
You go first.
Good answer.
Good morning. Good morning. So what I'll say is I really like that analogy, the roller coaster. That's an excellent analogy because literally it has been a roller coaster. Absolutely. And it just seems like yesterday we got on the roller coaster. Right? That's kind of what it seems like. But the name of my chapter is Heal the Wound, but Leave the Scar.
I like it. Take me to it a little bit more. I don't want to sell it all for you because we want you to get the book. But now I'm intrigued. That's an interesting chapter.
Yes, very powerful chapter. It's real and raw. Absolutely. So my chapter comes from, I have been on a health and wellness journey for actually just last month, a year.
Wow.
An entire year, which started with Tara. It's all Tara's fault.
It always is.
Yeah, Tara Hurst, Riverbend Records, blame her.
Makes them plug.
So I've been on that for a year, and this obviously has been made a part of that journey.
Yeah.
Not, of course, what I necessarily wanted, but sometimes you don't get to pick along the journey, right? It's kind of chosen for you. And so this has become part of the journey. But nonetheless, I write my chapter. I lost my sister, Kim, Christmas Day of 2021. Forever changed my life. Forever changed my life, and just set me on a journey, basically, of health and wellness, certainly, and definitely awakenings, and just some realizations. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
When you get to this point in your life, you're busy living normal life. You know what I mean? You're working full time. You're family full time, right? You've got all that going, and so you're just like a zombie, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, no longer a zombie, right? Living life purposely instead of just surviving life. But so I talk about that journey, and incredibly healing process, although so incredibly difficult to put that to paper.
And that seems like the median, really, of everyone that's been a part of this is it's from what I've heard, it's just a very, kind of a very challenging, portion is writing it and putting those, that pen to paper and getting the words out.
I said no, 100 times?
Yeah,
It took some convincing, huh?
She was one of the first asks and one of the last yeses.
I said no.
What was the reason for that, if you don't mind me asking?
Well, the level of vulnerability.
Yeah.
That, like I said, my chapter is just it's real and it's raw.
Yeah.
That's incredibly vulnerable.
Yeah.
Right. Incredibly difficult just to, let alone go through the process, but actually write about it and let the world read it.
Yeah. That to me would be the hardest part. You heard me earlier, Tara, say that. I mean, just the fact.
It's personal.
Yeah.
Right. It's just really, it's personal, it's close to home. But what I realized along the process is the fact that if it can do that for me, if it can bring me that much healing, if it can do that for me, what can it do for someone else? Can it do more for them? Can it inspire them to take that first step?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Now, can I ask you about the healing process? Because as you're writing this, you hinted at it, just that, feeling of, wow, this is actually a really good healing tool, or it's helping me get a little bit more progressed in how I'm handling this. When was it right away you started writing that you started feeling, some of that healing process started? It take a couple of paragraphs before you're going, wow, this is really powerful.
Well, yeah. So true story. True story. I started and stopped. I don't know how many times.
Really?
Because, just to put yourself right in that spot, because what you're trying to bring your reader there with you.
Yeah.
You know, and to do that, right? I mean, that requires for you to
go a little deeper, huh?
Absolutely. So I would text Tara and I'm like, oh, no.
What was your response after the third or fourth one?
Oh, she knows. I was just like, keep going. Like you're in it to win it at this point.
How good, though, was it to have that, support system, though, too, going, hey, we're pushing you through this and we're going to get through it together.
You know, everybody, to include Tara, Nina, D'Angelo, of course, Kathy Davis, right? The whole crew. There have been there every single step of the way.
Yeah.
Every single step of the way, regardless of what it was. You know, Dr. Carol Scott, dear Lord, love that woman. love that woman. What a blessing. What a blessing. For her, this is what you're trying to say, and you've looked at that, you've read it 50 times.
Yeah.
But it's not what you want to say, not how you want to say it. She can just magically take that and
and I think that was why this went so quickly, why everything just came together, because the team behind us was incredible. I mean, my whole story, and everyone has heard me talk about, find your tribe, put yourself around people who are going to challenge you, encourage you, and elevate you, and that's exactly what they did for all of us. They allowed us to share our story by just, going in the trenches with us.
It's a great point. I always tell people, they go, man, you're doing well. I go, I'm not. The team around me is. I have a great team that does well, and that's, you need that. You need the foundation.
No, coaches need coaches.
Yeah,
I mean,
right on.
So, yeah.
So, Nicole, let me ask you about your section of this book.
So I think mine was a little different. I talked about some of the traumas, but mine was called Shift Happens.
I like it.
Kind of funny because, a lot of people say other things happen.
Yeah, shit happens, whatever.
I didn't know if we could cut that.
The FCC can't touch me on this show.
Okay. Good to know.
Note to self.
So mine kind of touches upon just listening to yourself, which most people don't do.
Mm-hmm.
We fail to listen to our internal navigation system that we're born with, our feelings. Like, does this give me anxiety when I'm going to do it? Do these people make me feel good when I'm around them? And I think a lot of times in our life, we get into these positions where we don't think we can handle it, or we get around like the wrong crowd, but it's just simply because we're not following ourselves, our intuition. And it's not talked about and it's not taught. So I'm like, hey, we need to fix this.
Well, and take me through your background too. What do you do in your day-to-day life?
So I'm a Reiki practitioner. I'm also a shamanic practitioner, but I just got my social work, my master's in social work. So I'm kind of transitioning right now. I'm doing remote sessions from home for people, but...
Well, and too, I mean, it seems like in life right now, there's so many social distractors, especially for young children. And I think that, teenagers especially, who are trying to find that role model to look up to in a lot of cases. What's your kind of advice? Because I don't want to give away this section, but this is really important because in a world of distractors, I mean, it's so important to stay self-centered, or not self-centered, but self-focused.
To just stay with yourself, like spend time with yourself. Get to know yourself. Like, who are you? Why are you here? What is your passion? Like, what brought you joy as a child? And never, don't die with your music inside of you.
Yeah.
To quote Wayne Dyer, because I love him.
I love that.
Yeah. So take me through that. I mean, that exploration, because that's scary too. Whenever you go, well, who really is, Nicole? Who really is Tammy? Who's Tara? Who's CJ? Well, that's even worse. It's just that's a scary.
It's not, and that's what we're taught. We're taught to freak out and listen to someone who's older than us and who knows better. Right. And that's not true. We're born to know best. We know what's best for ourselves, and it's simply by listening to ourselves, and we're not taught that.
Yeah.
And I don't understand why. So I was a daycare teacher for 7 years, so I have background. I also have children. But one of the most important things I tell them is to trust themselves.
Yeah.
Nobody's taught that.
Well, and too, it seems like once you start trusting the gut, maybe something that goes wrong, that you trust the gut the first time and then it doesn't, your gut was maybe not right or something happens. Does it kind of scare you for the most part? How do you stay focused?
I don't think that happens because when you trust your gut, it doesn't happen.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well,
that's fair.
And for me, failure is only feedback. It's feedback.
Yeah.
That's it. Yeah. Nothing more.
That's what I was kind of hinting at, really, was that, it really isn't over. It's just kind of
and a lot of people do that.
Yeah,
they stop right there. So that's where a lot of people stop. That was me too.
I see.
I'll
So you're
just say that,
talking
right?
about like a contrast, like a first step, one moment.
Right.
Well, you just recognize that that's what it is and that's not for you, and you take a different way.
But we're not taught that, right? Our generation,
is
this older
taught
generation,
that.
is taught that, right? And I have a lot of hopes, right, for this, for the future, right, generations.
Well, and that's
coming up.
And to me, that conversation alone, just that's the book as a whole.
Well, that's how the book came
Yeah,
about.
I mean, that's what I just thought was cool. We just watched the book happen in real time.
I mean, it really did. I literally flipped the switch to where I listened to myself and I trusted myself to head in the direction of just going for it. And it's
really
been
cool.
a beautiful, beautiful thing.
It is.
Same as change the script.
Yeah.
Right. Change the script.
Absolutely, and this book is coming out in what? 10 days.
Yeah, it's crazy. So Thursday, October 5th is the launch date, and everyone will be able to get on to Amazon to be the first ones to get their eyes and fingers on this thing, and just be able to read all of the 42 chapters, or 41 chapters, 42 authors that are in there. And so it's exciting. So for 24 to 48 hours, they can get on there and purchase it for $1.99. So yeah, absolutely. So it definitely is going up after that. So if they want to have the first opportunity, honestly, the same opportunity that my authors are getting, they're not seeing it until then either.
I just think that's the best part of this. And then you got about a month and a day to read 41 chapters, but he's coming your way on November the 4th from 8 a.m. to 2 p.m. at Julia's Banquet Center in East Alton. Perfectly Imperfect, a Women's Empowerment Summit, which I think is really cool. Tara, fill us in on these details on how we can sign up.
Yeah, so there is a link on Eventbrite, so you can find us on there. Just type in Perfectly Imperfect Women's Summit. We're sharing it all over Facebook. They can find the links on there as well. It is an amazing, we have incredible speakers, and so it's going to be powerful. Talking about shifting, there's going to be some shifting that day, and it's not, it's there will be something for everyone there. I don't want someone to say, oh, that's not for me, because it might be networky, or that's not for me because it might be uncomfortable. I don't want to get in my feels kind of thing.
Yeah.
There are so much content that's going to be there. Lunch is included. I will say there are, I think, 7 days left for the early bird pricing, so they can get their ticket purchased for $99, saves them $50. So if they know they want to come and they are going to come, it's going to cost them $50 more after October 1st.
Wow. Well, and too, I think it's really cool. We were talking during the break to see, everyone here really putting out the stops to make sure this event's going on, too, speaks volumes of your guys' trust and your guys' passion for this piece to really help and utilize this to help not only the region, but who knows throughout the world that picks up this book.
I think there's a lot of us, to include the authors, who know and have personally experienced how powerful, right, this is and how life-changing this is. And so that's why it's incredibly important, right, to not... to share.
I think for all of us, when we experience something, when you experience something that literally changes you from the inside out, you can't help but just want to tell everybody about it.
Right.
And so that's honestly the impact that I think the book and the conference is going to have. Obviously, I just want to reach one person. This is going to reach millions of people in some form or fashion. There is something in this book for everyone. That there's just so many different spectrums of where these women came from, what they went through, that it's not even just for women. I mean, there are things in here that are going to speak on every level, just to learn how to get the hell out of your own way.
Yeah. I couldn't have said it. That's a hell of a way to wrap it up. How about that? 9:50. What is there anything else that I need to get out that I haven't yet that Nicole and Tammy you'd like to talk about today?
Just read the book.
Do you want to talk about your her Reiki? Tell a little about it.
I do Reiki. It's a Japanese healing modality.
Yeah.
And you're located?
I'm doing remote sessions right now. I'm in the middle of a transition.
And how do they get a hold of you?
They just call me. My number is 618-560-6933.
There you go.
Awesome.
There we go. That's how we get signed up. And all of you have the opportunity coming up in just a few short days on October the 5th to pick up that book for $1.99, which Good luck going to McDonald's for a Happy Meal for $2, and you get a great piece, a great resource. I don't even call it a book. I think it's a resource and a tool.
Yeah.
And more than anything, I think this is just great. And then coming up your way, November the 4th at 8 a.m. to 2:30 p.m. at Julia's Banquet Center. Perfectly Imperfect, a Women's Empowerment Summit. All of you, thank you so much for stopping in studio today.
Thank you so much for having us.
We'll take a quick break, 9:51. We aren't going to do news today because we are very busy. And we're going to come back talking about Grow Solar. Then we're going to talk to Ann Montgomery out of Arizona. She was one of the first female sportscasters on ESPN. Going to talk about her career a little bit and some of the hurdles she faced, all that good stuff. But somebody that I want to refer you to is one of my biggest supporters, and that's Lisa Webb at 3rd Street Realty. If you go to 3rdstrealty.com, you will find Lisa's comprehensive guide to the art of the short sale and foreclosure, because in today's climate, not a lot of people want to really help the person that's going through that struggle. They look at those beautiful homes and that's what they want. But Lisa Webb's an advocate for you and your family. And I'm telling you what, she was an advocate for me. Moved me into my first house, less than $500 down.
Awesome.
She took care of me.
She's an amazing person.
She is. And she'll take care of you just like she takes care of the Bunker Hill community and region and the Chamber of Commerce. There's so many great facets of that woman-owned but family-operated company. Whether or not you're buying for the first time, selling for the millionth, or going through that tough conversation, Lisa Webb's here to help. 3rdstrealty.com. That's 3rdstrealty.com.